Hey weirdos, welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing awesome, and I've got something that I know a lot of you guys have been asking about. This is, by the way, having really nothing to do with this video. The Revels new Valentine's Day collection. They were so sweet and sent it over to me. I'm going to use one of these colors for a little accent later on, but today we're going to be talking about Apex. Now, I know that I've had so many people ask about this. I've heard so much chatter about it. What's an Apex? How do you get an Apex? Do you need an Apex? We're going to talk all about that today. I'm going to be trying the quote-unquote Apex method, which, to be fair, I really don't need. I have a natural curve to my natural nail, so I don't really see the need for myself to build an Apex, especially on short nails. But I know that there are a lot of people that have very flat nails or want a little bit more of an aesthetic or want to build strength to their nails. So I'm going to show you today how to do that. I'm going in first with my peel-off base coat. I'm very sad about my peel-off base coat. Somebody told me that it was being discontinued and I don't know what I'm going to do. I have backups. I have alternatives, but I've been using this for so long and it just feels like the end of an era. Like, how do you go ahead and discontinue UNT peel-off base coat? I hope it's a rumor. I hope it's not true. I hope they bring it back. But if they do, they do. They don't. I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. This is the UNT peel-off base coat. If it becomes available, it'll be in my Amazon storefront. If you need an alternative, Virgo and Gem peel-off base coat or Hello Taco peel-off base coat would both be pretty good. So I'm going to start with Erica. This is by Revel, and I'm going to be using Gigi's Custom Dip Base. I'm using dip liquids, y'all. I know. Pause for reaction. I'm going to go in with my first coat, and that's going to be a partial dip. And you're going to see where I put it after I dip in. That's what I was going for. I'm covering like 3/4, maybe a little bit more, maybe like 5/8, if you want to get technical, of the nail. I'm avoiding the sidewalls and the cuticle area because I want to build this up a little bit and give my nail some extra strength. And that's exactly what the Apex will do. It'll reinforce the center of your nail, which is what holds the strength, especially if you have length. It'll make it curve a little bit more aesthetic. It'll help keep the bulk away from your cuticle area and your sidewalls, which is going to make your nail look slimmer. And if you feel like you need to be doing this, I say go for it. Try it out. See if it changes your nail game. For me, and I will be doing this again. Why, I don't know. I did try it again on my other hand. You'll see in my next video, I think. Probably the last time I'll be doing this, just because it's not for me. And that's the only reason I haven't done it. I know so many people, so many other creators have, done videos on how to build an Apex. I haven't, only because I don't need one. I can't tell you what to do on your nails, only what I do on my nails. But this is just a demo of how you would go about creating a little bit of an Apex. And you're going to see at the end of the video, I'm going to show you all the curves, all the things, all the angles, and you'll have to decide from there if that's something you feel like you need to do. So now that I've gotten all 5 nails dipped out with the first coat, I'm going to go ahead and dust off excess. I'm going to go with the second coat. Now my second coat is going to be a full dip. And I know there are very different ways to do this. Everyone's got their own method. Everyone's got their own preference, and that's completely fine. How many times you guys heard me say, if you're new here, hi, I'm Marlakrishelp. Welcome to my nail shenanigans. If you like nail content, consider subscribing. I would love to have you as part of the Manny Fam. Speaking of Manny Fam, we do have a Facebook group. I'll leave the link down in the box for you guys if you want to check it out. Anyway, so you do what you do. And whatever works for you, and that's completely fine. If this does not work for you, if you like doing your own thing, you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to do what I'm telling you to do. I would never tell you to do anything. You guys know that. But this is just an alternative method if you feel like you have flat nails or if you need a little bit of extra strength, especially if you find that your free edge tends to chip or crack or break. This is a good way to reinforce your free edge without adding bulk to your cuticle or sidewall area. So I'm going to go ahead and get a full dip now over the entire nail for all 5 nails, and then I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to do 2 full dips. So here's the Apex method. I'm using air quotes, you can't see them, that I use in this video. 1 partial dip, 2 full dips. Now, in theory, if you wanted to, you encapsulate with clear, which I would always recommend you encapsulate with something just so your color is protected when you go to file and buff. However, I've been off the clear acrylic train for a little bit. I find for me that I prefer to encapsulate with gel, which you will see me do, for a couple of reasons. One, it makes the nail less bulky. And if you're building strength to your nail with an apex method anyway, I don't think you need the clear dip powder for strength. You can argue with me if you want to. And if you feel like you need to, again, don't listen to me. But I prefer to encapsulate with a gel base, which I'll explain later. It just reduces the bulk, makes it a little easier. Plus, you don't have to worry about those white specks that can sometimes appear when you're using clear dip powder, right? Right. So I'm going to go ahead and get my second coat completely dipped out, and we're going to go in for a third. So let's talk about who this method would really work for. If your nails are on the flatter side and they are relatively short, if you want to call them active length or shorter, this method would likely work for you. If your nails have more length to them, then you may want to consider building up the apex more. And if that's the case, my recommendation would be to gradually build up that apex instead of doing 1 partial dip then 2 full dips. Start with a partial dip, smaller area than I did, and gradually work your way out from the center out. That will give you a little bit of a higher apex, which will reinforce your free edge and give you strength to your nail. Somewhat off topic, but because it was in your face, if you're wondering about the precision tool I was using to clean around my cuticle area, that is also from Gigi's Custom Dips, and I will leave it linked in the box, along with everything else that I'm using today. I don't know that I would say the precision tool is a necessity. You don't need it per se. I love it with my whole entire heart. I think it makes cleaning up your cuticle area so easy. It makes for less filing later, but you can use some stuff you probably already have at home. You can use a toothpick, cuticle sticks like the orange wood sticks. If you have a very small dotting tool, you can use that too, but I love that precision tool. Plus, it's gorgeous. Who doesn't want pretty tools? I don't know. Is that a thing? For me, it's a thing. If I'm going to use stuff, I like for them to look pretty. But that's me, and I'm shallow, apparently. So now I'm going in with my final dip, and this is going to be another cuticle to free edge full cover dip, and this is going to kind of make everything very even, because when you do a partial dip and then you do a full dip on top, the area that you didn't cover on your first dip can look a little bit transparent. So this is going to even everything out, give it as much coverage as possible, and then I'm going to show you how I encapsulate. Okay, so now that I've gotten the dipping portion of this completed, I'm going to go in and activate. You do need activator, even if you're not using clear, even if you're encapsulating with gel, you have to activate those dip layers. So I'm going to go ahead and activate. I'm going to give it a minute to fully set and harden, and then I'm going to go in with my gel base to encapsulate. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my gel base encapsulation, which is nothing more than a coat of gel base, cure for 30, wipe off the tacky layer, and then I'm going to file and buff off camera. I will leave my whole filing routine down in the box in case you want to check out how I do that. But now we're going to get into a teeny tiny little bitty bit of nail art, nothing crazy at all. So I'm taking a little bit of gel base and I'm going to make just a little bitty line in the corner of this nail. It's going to look like a little triangle, like a little corner accent. And I'm going to pour over some of the glitter that came in the Revel Valentine's Day set. I figured it was a little something. It's still professional. This is a great little accent nail for someone who is in a professional office setting or can't really wear, full-blown glitter nails to work. Great little accent. Nobody will even know it's there, but you'll know it's there and you'll feel a little bit bougie. So I'm going to go ahead, get the base on, get this exactly how I want it. And because I'm using gel, if I feel like I need to move stuff around, which you're going to see me do, you have that freedom. You can, in theory, do this with dip liquids. However, I find that applying dip liquids with a brush like this can really ruin your brush because it's glue and it's not going to just clean off like gel will. But if you want to take that chance, if you want to grab yourself a really cheapo liner brush and do a little nail art with it and hope for the best, I say go for it. However, I think gel is much easier. It gives you much more time to work, much more time to play around and really place your glitters and move that line, get it as straight as you want it. That's just my recommendation. Again, y'all do you. And I understand if you can't use gel, I get it, I understand. You could, in theory, also do this with regular polish. You just have to sit and wait for, 600 years for it to completely dry down. So once I get this completed, I'm going to go back in with my gel base. Only on the ring finger, I'm going to do gel base and then gel top, just so there's no texture on the nail, and there isn't. There is zero texture when I put the base and then the top. And then on the rest of the nails that don't have any glitter or any texture, I'm only going to use my gel top coat. If you have gel top coat peeling problems, I would highly recommend either using your gel base under it or a gel primer that'll help the gel top coat really adhere to your nail better. I typically don't have issues with that, probably because I don't keep nails on very long. But if you do, primer is wonderful at helping your gel top coat to last. Also, if you're skipping the gel altogether, at this point you would go in with your second coat of activator, let it sit for a minute, wipe it down with a dry paper towel, and then do your dip top coat. But I just tend to prefer a gel top coat. I find for me that I prefer the gloss of gel over the gloss of dip. It's just not as glossy. I know, unpopular opinion, perhaps. But that's the beauty of doing your own nails. You can really customize this and do it exactly how you want to do it. So I'm going to go ahead, get everything top coated. I'll come back with some final thoughts. So here's the finished look, and here's what I noticed when doing the apex method for short nails. There is definitely a difference in the curve on the surface of the nail. Look at that curve. And that's also because, you know, when you're filing, you can blend down your cuticle area and all that stuff. Again, that's linked in the box, but absolutely there's a huge difference. And I would highly recommend this method to anyone who is struggling with flat nails or wants a little bit more of an aesthetic, or has a little bit of length to the nail and wants to build up a little bit of an apex. I hope this was helpful. Let me know down below if you enjoyed the video. You can give me a thumbs up. It actually really helps my channel. Thank you guys so much for being here and spending a little bit of your day with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love you, bye.